Hi everyone, Christine here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to all my new subscribers. I'm coming on today and joining in on Satmorn Makes, which was started by Jill Norwood. And all you need to do is create a project and upload it to social media and use a hashtag Satmorn Makes. And I'm going to leave Jill's link down below so you can check it out for more info. Also, I'm joining in on the Two Crafters One Design hashtag, hosted by Melissa, who is Mo Creations, Lisa, UCY I'm a Diva, and also Gloria from Girlia's Cars. And I'm going to leave all those lovely ladies links down below so you can check out, and also please check out the hashtags so you can be inspired. And so anyway, this week's theme was hearts, and of course that was super easy for me to participate in because I love anything to do with hearts. And so I've been making Valentine's projects. Of course, I'm running super behind. But anyway, I made this super cute treat box. And let me share with you the products that I've used. And I'm zoomed in. Let me see how close. Okay, so I used My Creative Time Fun Valentines and create script Hearts and Solids goes with Fun Valentines. These are my favorite paper pads. I think she still has a couple of these left in stock, so grab them. I know she'll probably order more. This is a discontinued Can Company die cut pieces. You may be able to get them on eBay. And also, let's see, I used the Present Die Box die. I used the Etched Z-card die. I used the banner and the layers for my love. And then I used the Prim Hearts in Alpha to spell out the word love. This will be in stock next month. And then I used this stamp. This is from the latest released Sweet Ginger Cupid Add Ons. I just used the smallest cloud die. And then I used the Pretty Scalloped Oval die. Pretty Scalloped Oval die, the smallest one here. And then I used the A2 Fancy Frame dies. I think I used the third smallest one here. The Mr. Snowman die. This is a stamp and die set. I used just the banner for my Hello Valentine. And oh, I forgot to bring up my other stamp set. The Hello Valentine is from the Giant Cupid Add-on stamp and die set. Okay, then I also used the Eyelet Doily dies. I used the smallest one here. Okay, then I used some of my favorite laces. This is from Joann's. I used my 4mm flat back pearl trim. You can get this from Amazon. My Distress Oxide ink. This was a blessing from Lady Cree, who is Fun Creations. Hi, my sweet friends. And also from Lady Cree, this beautiful seam binding from Scrap Cabin Shop on Etsy. From my dear friend Mimi, I use this lace. So wax linen thread for my bows on my banner. And I use this lace piece. You can get this off of Temu. Etsy has them too, but Temu, you can get them super cheap for like $1, $1.20 or something. And by the way, I do have a process tutorial showing how I put this together. So if you're interested, just stay tuned. And so anyway, I have this zoomed in pretty close. So what I did was I assembled my box, and it doesn't come with a layer. So all you need to do is measure the length and width of your box and cut down your layer to like a 1/4 inch shorter on both sides. And that way you get an 1/8 inch border on all sides. And then what I did was I took my Snow Tex and my scruffy brush and just dabbed it all over to lighten up the color. And then in the back here, I have a doily, and I tore up my papers here and my A2 layer, and I have one of my embellishment pieces from Can Company. And here's my Pretty Scalloped Oval piece and another embellishment piece. And then I just layered some other die cuts from the Can Company. I have a heart, some roses. This is a little dove or bird. And then I have my Hello Valentine, which I did pop up. And these tiny little hearts are also negatives from the smallest doily die. Also from the Love Banner, I did pop this up on foam, and this is where I added these little wax linen bows. And I'll show you in my tutorial on how I put that together, and I have tulle trim underneath that. And then for my cluster, I just have some cheesecloth, and I just cut out some pieces from that lace to get the little leaves here and there. And I have a small flower cluster that I did gesso, and I added a pearl piece here, another pearl here on this seam binding bow, and this is where I added the lace. And then I have more trim at the bottom here, and my flat back pearl trim. And at the top, I have the same trim here with the same 4mm flat back pearls. Isn't that cute? Let's see, did I forget anything? And this little XOXO, I typed that on my computer. I got a bunch of these sentiments that I kept from over the years. Oh, and by the way, you can't see it, but this is where I use that tiny little cloud dies, so that's where she's sitting or standing on. Isn't that cute? So that's my Valentine's treat box. So if you guys are interested in the process tutorial, stay tuned. And I thank you all so much for watching. Bye for now. Okay, I have all of my papers cut out, but the first thing I wanted to do is take my layers and some Snow Tex and my scruffy brush, and I'm just going to dab some Snow Tex onto my papers just to lighten it a little bit. Just a quick tip, after you've cleaned out your brush, make sure you fluff it out again so it's ready for the next time. And now I'm going to glue the layers onto my box. And I'm just going to fold all my score lines. And now I'm going to glue them together, starting with the bottom flaps first. And making sure I use my bone folder to secure it. And then I'll do this size as well. And I'm going to add another layer, and this time I'm going to tear this paper. And for all you newbies out there, when you're tearing, you want to tear it towards you. And I wanted to make sure this fits on my layer. And I'm going to add some other strips for the sides on the left and right side. And I like to do a lot of dry fitting. I have my doily, which will go on the bottom, and then my next torn piece of paper is my next layer. And for my next layers, I'm going to be using my Cane Company die cuts and my A2 layer. And now I'm realizing I need one more die. I'm going to use the Pretty Scalloped Oval die, and that'll go under my Angel Cherub. And now I'm going to take my Cane Company die cut. I'm just going to cut it to shorten it to fit because it's a little too wide. And I'm getting rid of some pieces that I didn't want in my layer. And I'm also going to cut my A2 layer, and I'm also going to shorten that as well so it'll fit. Okay, now I'm going to play around with my design, see how everything fits before I glue everything together. And I'm going to add my banner. Again, I'm just dry fitting before I glue everything down. And once I'm happy with it, then the scary part, gluing everything down. Okay, and I'm also trying to dry fit my banner to make sure I don't have my image too high. And then I'm realizing my scalloped oval die cut is a little bit too long, so I just chopped it off at the bottom. And it's going to get covered up anyway with lace, so you won't see that raw edge. And then before I glue down my angel cherub, I'm going to glue the little cloud die cut under her feet. And now I can glue her down. And now I'm playing around with my design again, making sure it all fits. I'm keeping all of this in because I wanted to show you my thought process and how I glue everything down. And I glue, of course, the by layers. So the bottom layers are glued first. So I added that heart and then a little rose flower. And then I'm making sure before I glue everything down that the banner fits where I want it to fit. And this next die cut, I actually wanted this to go under the rose, so I have to peel that die cut back up. And before I add my banner, I'm going to pop it up on some foam, and then I can glue that down. And I'm going to add this little XOXO sentiment right on the heart. And next I'm just adding these tiny little negative hearts from the Eyelet Doily Die onto my banner. And I'm going to stamp my love banner with Distress Oxide. And I do this at least 3 times. And by the way, I created a banner template which helped me to be able to stamp several banners all at once. And I also cut out the banner layers out on foam. So I'm going to glue my letters onto the foam and then I'll glue them onto the banner. And I'm just cutting off that extra banner piece that I don't need. And now I'm just going to measure out some tulle trim. And I believe I got this from Hobby Lobby many years ago. They don't carry it anymore. So I'm taking my fabric scissors and I'm going to trim a little bit off the top. And when I glue this down, I like to show a little piece of the tulle at the top of the banner to give it like a little layer, if you will. And I'm just going to trim it, and I'm going to trim it close to the banner. And I want to make sure there aren't any like jagged edges. So I may kind of pull it a little bit. And it looks good. And now I'm taking my waxed linen thread and I'm going to make a couple small bows for the sides of my banner. And I love working with waxed linen thread because it's so easy to work with. It does keep its shape. And now I can glue this to the top of my box. And I'm going to add one of my favorite laces, and I'm going to start off at the front. And you're not going to be able to see the seam because it's going to be covered up with seam binding. And when I get to the end, I like to overlap the edge. So I cut like an extra scallop. And then I also like to add glue to the edges of the lace as well as to the bottom of the scallop to kind of hide that seam. And now I'm taking some cheesecloth and I'm just going to scrunch it up a little bit. And I'm going to take my applique. I'm just going to cut off some leaves. And I'm going to glue these down first before I add my flowers. And now I'm taking my gesso and I'm going to add it to my flowers. I like to add it to the leaves on the front and back sides. And I take my fingers, kind of spread it around, especially if you put on a little too much. It helps to kind of even out the gesso. And I do add it to the tops of the flowers as well, just to give it a more shabby look. And now I'm going to glue my lace appliques on. And I like to add just a tiny bit of glue just to secure it in place. You can always go back and add more glue. And now I can add on my flowers. And I'm also going to add a tiny little pearl heart in the middle there. And now I'm going to make a little bow with this seam binding. Okay, and before I glue the seam binding on, I wanted to add some lace underneath. And I just make a little V here rather than make a bow. And I got that idea from Carolyn from Tea Time and Dolls. And now I'll glue this on. And I'll glue a little pearl heart on the bow, and we're done with the bow. And now I'm going to take my 4mm flat back pearl trim, and I'm going to add it to the lace at the bottom. And I'm going to create a handle using my same lace. And I'm just going to quickly measure it out. And I'll just glue it to the sides of my box. And I'm going to take my pearl trim again, and I'm going to add it to the lace. And it does make it a little bit more sturdy. And that's it. I hope you all enjoyed my tutorial. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I thank you all so much for watching. Bye for now.